You've probably heard of The Art of War, right? I mean, it's this 2,500-year-old book that generals and CEOs, pretty much everyone has been reading for ages. But here's the crazy thing. Almost everyone gets its main point completely wrong.
Yeah, we picture it as this hardcore guide to, charging headfirst into battle and just crushing your enemies. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if the book isn't really about fighting? Because, and this is the big secret, what if it's actually a guide to avoiding conflict altogether? That's the real genius of it. The ultimate goal isn't learning how to fight well. It's about being so strategic that you never have to fight in the first place.
And this quote right here, this is the core of the whole thing. Sun Tzu is basically saying that the absolute peak of skill, it's breaking your opponent's will to fight without ever throwing a punch. A true master wins with their brain, with strategy, with psychology, not with brute force.
There's this great analogy that nails this idea. Imagine a lord asks his doctor, who comes from a family of amazing physicians, which of you is the best? The doctor says, well, my oldest brother, he can see a sickness before it even has a shape and gets rid of it. My middle brother, he cures illnesses right when they start. Me, I'm the one doing surgeries and handing out medicine. You see, the greatest skill is the one you never see. It's preventing the problem before it even becomes a problem. And that is pure Sun Tzu.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you win a fight before it even starts? Well, according to Sun Tzu, it all comes down to one thing: preparation. Serious, deep, analytical preparation. He says the winning general has already run all the numbers, all the simulations in his head long before the first soldier moves. Victory isn't about luck. It's not about some heroic charge. It's the natural result of having a better plan. The person who wins is the one who did their homework. And to help you do that homework, Sun Tzu gives you a checklist, basically. He calls them the 5 constant factors. Think of these as the 5 essential things you absolutely have to analyze to figure out who's going to win any conflict. So what are they? First, you've got the moral law. That's basically asking, are the people and their leaders on the same page? Then there's heaven, stuff you can't control like the weather or the time of year. Earth is the literal ground you're on, the terrain. The commander, well, that's all about the leader's qualities. Are they wise, brave, disciplined? And last, you have method and discipline, which is all about the nitty-gritty of organization and logistics. If you understand these 5 things, you understand the whole picture. And all of this work, all this analysis, leads to what is probably the most famous quote from The Art of War. See, that's the end game. It's not enough to know your own game plan. You have to know your opponents inside and out, their strengths, their fears, what makes them tick. When you have that level of total awareness, winning isn't a hope, it's a certainty. Okay, so once you've got that solid foundation of knowledge, you can start using Sun Tzu's more advanced tactics. And this is where it gets really cool. It's what he calls the art of formlessness. Basically, it's all about being completely unpredictable. Think about it like a mythical dragon. A dragon doesn't have one set shape, right? It can be huge, it can be tiny, it can be invisible. A master strategist is just like that. They're so subtle that they seem to have no form at all. So mysterious, you can't even hear them coming. Your opponent can't fight you because they can't even figure out what you are. And when your enemy can't figure you out, that's when you can control what they see and what they think. The key to all of this? Deception. This is so practical, you can almost see it in action. You're basically building a fake reality for your opponent to live in. When you're strong, you act weak to make them overconfident. When you're ready to attack, you look totally inactive. You're basically feeding them bad information, setting traps, and letting them walk right into them. They end up defeating themselves. Sun Tzu uses another great analogy for this: water. Think about it. Water has no permanent shape. It flows around things. It fits any container it's poured into. That's how a strategist should be. You don't have one playbook. You adapt constantly to the situation and to the specific enemy you're facing. You are like water. So we've got preparation and we've got deception. But there's one last crucial piece to this puzzle: the leader themselves. Sun Tzu is crystal clear on this. None of these tactics work unless the person using them has mastered their own mind. He actually lists 5 dangerous faults a leader can have. Some are pretty obvious, right? Being reckless, being a coward, having a short fuse. But then he gets more subtle. He warns against having a delicacy of honor, being too proud, having a fragile ego that's easy to provoke, And get this, he even warns against caring too much for your people because it can make you hesitant and worried. The ideal leader has to be emotionally rock solid, calm, cool, and collected.
And this quote just sums it up perfectly. The best leader isn't in it for fame. They don't care about their personal reputation. They'll advance when it's smart, and they'll retreat without shame if that's the right move. Their only mission is to protect their country and achieve the objective. Their ego is completely out of the picture. It's all about pure, clear-headed strategy.
And that brings us right back to where we started with that story about the doctor. The greatest victories are the ones no one ever sees. The master strategist wins so easily and so early that it doesn't even look like a win. The problem just evaporates. There's no big flashy battle, so they don't get a medal for bravery. Their planning was so good, no one even noticed it. It's the art of making incredible success look completely effortless. So when you boil it all down, the art of war isn't just for generals. It's for business deals, for difficult conversations, for navigating our own lives. And it leaves us with a really important question to think about. In our world, which seems to reward competition and confrontation at every turn, are we fighting battles we don't need to fight? Are we just trying to win fights? Or are we actually practicing the real art, the art of winning without ever having to fight at all?